We have a video that we take into homes in recruiting, and it has me at the first press conference. When people see that picture and they see me standing there, they're like, "You've aged more than Obama." And this job, you age. I mean, it's just part of what you do, and you're on a treadmill, and I love it.
John, you aged a lot of Kentucky fans last year by missing that NCAA tournament. Gupper and the gang, welcome to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. The colors are in full.
Wait, hang on. No, not Gatlinburg.
It's not Gatlinburg?
Sign says Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop, Mr. Gupton.
Of course we're at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop here in Louisville, right off Shelbyville Road. We're going to show you some spectacular things here that allow you to keep going outside when the weather says you ought to be coming inside. But first, let's go inside the mind of Howie Lindsay with our word of the week, and that's a dangerous place to go into.
Dangerous place. The word of the week is kitchen sink, because after the week that I've had, I'm waiting for a kitchen sink to fall out of the sky. Extortion, players, I mean, it has been NCAA stuff, players been suspended. It's been a wild week, but no kitchen sink so far.
And there's actually a kitchen sink right
right
there.
up there.
We'll show you that here in just a bit. Daryl Burr with the Cat Spots. Your word of the week is?
Word of the week is flop. How about that? The end of flopping, perhaps. The end of Duke basketball as we know it. Yes. We can only hope.
The True Home Value Red and Blue Review is coming to you from the Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop here in Louisville. We're located just a couple of miles east of the Gene Snyder on Shelbyville Road. You've seen this place, but what we're going to do is from this place show you how you can fix up your place. Look at these outdoor shots. This is what your home could look like, and we will explore that as we get going here. The Red and Blue Review coming to you from Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop. All right, but let's go into the lightning round before we go anywhere else. This portion of the True Home Value Red and Blue Review is brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to click it or ticket. Well, the big man on campus for the University of Louisville turns out to be Dominique Brown. We kind of had forgotten about him, but boy, against South Florida, everybody knows Damo now.
Teddy knew going into the game with the great receivers and stuff like that we knew that the covers that they was going to play. And Teddy just kept on reminding me, just get out. It's coming to you, Dom. Just get out, check down. So he did a great job with looking downfield and checking it down to the back.
Well, they made a big catch there with a one-hand catch to get us, through a third down situation. But Dominique runs hard, and he does a very good job of catching the ball.
I had to stay humble and stuff like that throughout the whole process. Just when I got my opportunity, just went out there and did what I had to do.
Yeah, and he definitely did what he had to do. Essentially, South Florida was going to bring the house every play. That was their whole deal. We're going to bring it at Teddy every play. And essentially what they figured out was Dominique go about 5 yards in, sit there and wait for the ball. Mm-hmm. And he did that over and over and over again. Ended up with 6 catches, 69 yards. He rushed for 125 yards. I mean, that's almost a 200-yard total offense day.
Howie, when I was sitting in this seat 2 months ago, I figured this story would be about Michael Dyer. What's happened to Michael?
He did not play at all.
Yeah.
So the question is, why didn't he play? Was it, is it injury? Is it what exactly is going on there? They were going to go through this like 3-back system the whole year. I just don't know if that works. I think you've got to have a back and then maybe another back that's kind of an off-speed back.
Kentucky could use a quarterback. They've got 2 of them. The passing quarterback can't throw because his shoulder's hurt. The running quarterback can't run because his wheel's bad. There's a lot of problems with the quarterback position at Kentucky.
It's a combination of things. Sure, we need to play better. Everybody needs to play better. We need to protect better. We need to get open, and he needs to throw it better. So it's a little bit of everything. He had some pressure, it affected him, but he can't let that affect him the rest of the game. He's got to step in there when he does have time and deliver the ball and make plays. I talked to him at half, and told him that we needed him to go and needed him to step up and play with his ankle hurting. And he said he's ready. He wanted to do it. So he went in. He gave us a little bit. It's a fine line. He was banged up for a week and a half and didn't get a lot of reps. His ankle was bothering him, and so it hurt us. It affected us.
It's hard to run the air raid when you don't have a quarterback who can throw the ball. Or in the other, one can't throw it because he's hurt, the other one can't because he's just not that good at throwing the ball. So you end up with what we saw in this game, which were a lot of really short passes. You hope you get a block that springs Ryan Timmons like this. They only tried really 2 deep passes. One of them almost worked. The other one was landed in the construction zone where they're building on. It was just not even close. I made the trip down to Starkville. I talked to fans afterwards. I ran into fans the next day, and even the most casual fan says, boy, they just don't have a quarterback, do they? And they really don't. And it's no fault. It's not Max's fault. He got hurt again. His shoulder's banged up, and Jalen's had a really nasty ankle sprain. Not his fault, but the fact is, you don't have one, this offense is not going to work.
Howie and I opined on the show when you were traveling back. It seems to me like what Kentucky's decided to do is they're just going to stick with these two guys, keep the red shirt on Patrick Tolles, and just grind through this season with those two guys.
That's what it looks like, and it's getting really hard for the fan base to say, okay, I understand what you're doing, but don't wash away the whole season on this. At some point, you still got 4 or 5 games left. If it's not working, you're going to have to make a change. I don't know if they're going to.
The True Home Value Red and Blue Review coming to you this week from Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop.
Hi, I'm Dewana. Come warm your winter at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop.
Bring the sunshine inside all winter long, all night long with Enviro and the Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop, east of the Snyder on Shelbyville Road.
What got busted at South Florida continues to be that Bulls offense that hasn't scored an offensive touchdown in 3 games now.
And now for South Florida, we're talking pride here for the Bulls. They have not scored an offensive touchdown in over 11 quarters, a new school record. You got to go back to September 28th, late in the Miami game, the last time the offense scored. They've actually won their last 2 games with their defense and special teams scoring for them, and their place kicker Marvin Kloss. Louisville bringing a 5th guy in at bench, and incomplete on the pass as bench is taken down.
You know, I was thinking about this. They could come up with a really clever nickname based on their Bulls mascot to describe their offense, couldn't they? It is so incredibly bad. You heard September 28th was their last touchdown. They've won 2 games since then. They had 26 points against Cincinnati, which included 2 defensive touchdowns and 4 field goals. They got 1 field goal against Louisville. I tell you this, the Louisville guys did not want to be the first to give up a touchdown to South Florida. They didn't want it. The stat actually was pretty crazy coming into this game. They'd been in the red zone 7 times this season. They'd played 6 games.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's terrible. Hey, Kentucky really did have a shot at winning at Mississippi State the other night. In fact, that onside kick that they tried worked except for about 4 inches where they were offsides.
We got it to 2. I thought we had good momentum. We had the lob set up, and it was perfectly executed. And somebody on the backside that had absolutely nothing to do with the play was evidently 4 or 6 inches offsides. So that's the difference. You know, we did not do what we needed to do, and that's disappointing.
Yeah, we'll go with disappointing. That's an hour after the game. He was disappointed. He was furious during the game, and the reason being they worked on this all week and emphasized every day. The only thing you cannot do not line up off sides. And I feel bad for the kid that he did, and he wasn't even involved in the play. That's what kills you. But to me, wow, I love the call. You're on the road. You know you've got a chance to get this victory. You're probably not as talented as Mississippi State. If you're going to get it, you're going to have to pull out the stops. You score, you cut it to, and you go for an onside kick in the 3rd quarter. Boy, if that had worked, he may be right. They could have marched that down, maybe taken the lead, and who knows what happens. If it was getting cold, the crowd may have left. Instead, they have to re-kick it, and what happened? Mississippi State marches down and scores. Now you're back where you were.
Cardinal basketball players are being told to keep your hands to yourself this year. You need to get your hands around one of these. How did you like that transition?
I like that transition.
Cat's Paws Basketball Yearbook.
Appreciate it very much. Cat's Paws Basketball Yearbook is available in stores everywhere. They are selling fast. That's not PR. That's a warning. They are selling. We've had outlets call us say we've sold out. Please send more. So I got a fear we're going to sell out on these things before Christmas. You can visit catspawsyearbook.com.
Hi, I'm Dewana. Come warm your winter at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop.
Bring the sunshine inside all winter long, all night long with Enviro and the Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop, east of the Snyder on Shelbyville Road.
You name it, if you can dream it, these guys can do it. It's the Big Orange Building right off of Produce Road, 4200 Produce Road. It's called Smart Shoppers. Drop by and see what these guys can help you do. Your ride down the road will look better than anybody else's if your ride stops here at Smart Shoppers.
Hi, this is Chad with Smart Shoppers. Whether you're trying to put wheels and tires on your everyday ride or you're trying to hook up your custom vehicle, come see me at 4200 Produce Road.
Hi, Tim Fritz here for Tim Fritz Superstores in Elizabethtown. We're hanging steel and we're making deals. We also have over 130 cars at our Radcliffe and our Fort Knox locations. Hey Brian, tell them about the Hot 100.
That's right, Tim. We have over 100 vehicles in stock priced at $250 per month or less, all ready for immediate delivery.
Stop by here in Elizabethtown and see us, or stop by Radcliffe or our Fort Knox location. You can go online at 765auto.com or just give us a call at 765auto because we've got an auto for you.
This is Chris with Boom Boss Pizza, Westport Village, inviting you out to try one of our best-selling pizzas. This is the traditional buffalo chicken pizza served on a gluten-free crust. Come out to Boom Boss Pizza today and give it a try.
Hi, I'm Teresa Bachman. There's never been a better time to buy a new Volkswagen from Bachman Volkswagen. For great savings on every Volkswagen model in Bachman's huge inventory, come in today. Get financing as low as 0% on most models. Nobody beats our price or selection. Bachman Volkswagen has a huge selection, low prices, and we pay top dollar for your trade. Visit us online at bachmanvolkswagen.com. Bachman makes the difference.
Hi, I'm Dewana. Come warm your winter at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop.
Make your house feel more like home with Hearthstone. Your fireplace becomes the centerpiece of your home place at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop east of the Snyder on Shelbyville Road.
That's what it looks like inside. We are outside where you can spend more of your time coming up this year. We'll talk about that later on in the show. Right now it's time for our Eye to Eye segment brought to you by the Eye Care Institute of Louisville. Today we're talking about rule changes in college basketball. What players are supposed to be doing now defensively is the same thing you should have done on your first date, which is keep your hands to yourself. Ironically, less touching should mean more scoring.
Scoring's gone down because we foul more. So now they're going to say you're not fouling. If you put a body hip check on a guy dribbling full court, it is now a foul. If you hold a guy from getting open, it's now a foul. It's automatic. Do you remember the charge block where I used to go crazy? You had to have your toe off the ground. Now, if you're in an up motion, I don't have to even jump yet. I'm in an up motion. If that man is not standing there, it is a block every single time. There's no more flopping. So I think it's good for the game, but we'll see. They got to, what we all say is they'll call it in November, December. They're going to call it in January, February, March. They are convinced they are.
Yeah, and this is going to be a huge rule for Louisville. I think there are some national analysts that say this is going to drastically affect Louisville's defense. They can't get as handsy as they typically are. Here's the thing, though. It's going to drastically affect Louisville's offense as well. Can you imagine the number of charges that Chris Jones and Russ Smith are going to draw because of this? And you know, can you imagine trying to guard Russ Smith without being physical on him? So I think where analysts have it right is that it is going to affect Louisville probably more than anybody, but it's going to affect them both positively and negatively.
It's going to be interesting to see Cal's dribble drive and these rule changes, match made in heaven. Absolutely, because his guys are too quick. You can't get in front of them. And I know Howie's talked about Russ Smith, same way. You can't get in front of him, so he's going to score. The points are going to go up. That's what I like about this most of all. The game was unwatchable last year and previous years. Could not do it. They've got to improve the game. It's a closer move to what the NBA allows. I like this move. I'm just really skeptical that these officials are going to call it like they should. They are adamant. It's not a point of emphasis. It is a rule change. And are they going to call it? And the reason I have that skepticism is the SEC and the Big East, the Big Ten, are not called the same. Right. They allow brutality in those others. And I want to see them get uniformity. I'm really hopeful, but I'm leery.
Here in our Eye to Eye segment, now we're sitting right behind this fireplace. It's been blowing some smoke at there. Now,
I'm almost done.
In your contact days, you couldn't have sat here. The contacts would have been too much. Tell me about your LASIK.
I would have clawed them out by now. The LASIK is not just the smoke coming in here. I made the trip to Starkville, was driving back for several hours. Usually that just wears your eyes out, especially on contacts. Not a single bit of trouble. I'm seeing beautifully well. Love Eye Care Institute for this simple reason. You go in there and they will say this may not be for you. Let's find out. And they don't steer you to have this just because they want to do it. They work with you and take forever examining you and making sure you are a good candidate, and have been wonderful through the procedure and the follow-up.
All three of us were candidates. All three of us had it done. You need to do it too. Here's what you need to do is call this number, 855-589-1500, and find out about LASIK surgery. Is it right for you? When we come back, Cal hopes his team fails fast. We'll discuss that right after Howie tells us about CardinalSports.com.
Absolutely. CardinalSports.com is your best source for all things news. We've been reporting about a whole bunch of other stuff outside the football field and basketball court, but we're getting back to football and basketball. We're also talking a lot about recruiting. Check it out at cardinalsports.com.
Today we're talking about the Politate. Food Network voted it the top pizza in Kentucky, and it is an International Pizza Award winner. Come down and try the Politate at Boomba's Pizza, Westport Village.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Whenever you see the ref do this, think of halftimes.
Halftimes is about to become your favorite part of the game. Halftime's Sports Bar and Grill in Mount Washington gives you a great view of all the action, great food at your table, and great fun with your friends, whether it's a cool beverage on the patio or a hotly contested game of your own outside. Halftimes is located next to the Kroger Shopping Center off Bardstown Road in Mount Washington.
Remember, every time you see this, think this. Halftime Sports Bar and Grill.
Hi, I'm Dewana. Come warm your winter at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop.
Make your house feel more like home with Hearthstone. Your fireplace becomes the centerpiece of your home place at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop east of the Snyder on Shelbyville Road.
Bob Hook Chevrolet is your commercial fleet headquarters.
We stock a huge selection of work-ready vehicles for every job in Kentuckiana.
Express vans, Silverados, dump trucks, service bodies, flatbeds, cutaways, and more.
Our expert staff can assist you with your vehicle needs so you can focus on your business.
And with priority service and commercial owners, we help keep you on the road.
So whether your fleet has 1 or 100 vehicles, look to Hook.
Because Bob Hook's got it.
Hi, I'm Dewana. Come warm your winter at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop.
No power? No problem. Staying warm during a winter storm starts at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop east of the Snyder on Shelbyville Road.
And I am a walking testimony for that. If you have a gas heat system and you don't have a gas insert fireplace, you're out of your mind. The ice storm of 2009, we had no power for 5 days. We stayed warm, just turned on the fireplace.
Darryl got to use all of his great romantic skills. What a guy. Let's jump into our game time storylines before we get in more trouble. Cal knows he's got a lot of talent with this basketball team. What he's got to figure out is who's the go-to player on this basketball team.
Don't know yet, because what will happen is there's three parts of this. There are guys that I will want to have the ball, and they don't want it. And then there's guys that really want the ball, and I don't want them to have it. And then there's guys that want the ball, and I want them to have it. And the only way you figure that out is in those close, tough games. But you also got to be able to make free throws, whoever that is. And you have to know if they come at you, you have to be a good enough passer that we're basically playing through you, not saying you take the shot.
My favorite part of that line was the very last one. Yes, you are our go-to guy, but if you're guarded, you better not take a forced shot. You better find your very extremely talented open teammates and let someone else be the hero. What we don't know about this team yet, we got to wait and see. Free throw shooting. We've heard all about the talent. How good of a free throw shooting team is this going to be? John Calipari's record is not great in that area, so we'll see. Likely the Twins, possibly Julius Randle. Those will be the likely suspects.
Louisville followed up that crushing loss at home to Central Florida by going on the road and crushing South Florida.
Teddy, Coach Strong said earlier in the week he didn't want the UCF game to beat you twice. What impressed you most about the way your teammates responded?
Just the maturity of the guys. Last week I said in the press conference that we have the type of team that we say we have a group of mature guys. Then we won't let last year's UConn event happen this year. So the guys responded well, and we came out and played a great game.
Yeah, this was a crucial thing because last year they did let it beat them twice. They lost 2 of those games right in a row. The second one to a really bad UConn team. If they had gone down to South Florida again, in front of that crowd of 10s and lost, it would have been the same thing as last year where there
was nobody at that game.
Oh my goodness, there are more Louisville fans than South Florida fans. And they essentially had to have their own motivation because you're not playing in front of a big crowd. It's not a big time atmosphere. It's a noon game. You've got the hangover from the previous week, and they handled it.
We'd love for you to get involved in our True Home Value Sweepstakes. $25,000 at stake, $15,000 in home improvements, and $10,000 to spend any way you want. You can come out here at Eastwood Stove and fix up your outdoor living space as well. Here's how you register: 800-476-1966 or online at truehomevalue.com or thv.com. Well, when you start every basketball season with brand new players, the one thing that Kentucky always has in short supply is enough time.
The thing we're working on right now is failing fast. Fail fast. In other words, try things, go, attack, so I can correct and you can figure out what's not going to work and work. We don't have 7 months. We got a brand new team. Fail fast so we can work and move on. And they've been doing a pretty good job of that.
First of all, my favorite thing is we have a new catchphrase. Failing fast. You know Brothers Keeper, you know everybody's Super Bowl. At least early we have failing fast, but he's absolutely dead on target. When you have a brand new team, you don't have a ton of time. You don't have veterans who can teach the younger guys this is how we do things and just fit in some new pieces. Starting from scratch, up comes Michigan State, November 11th. There's your time frame on how much time you have to get a whole lot of this figured out.
Kentucky is everybody's failing fast. It needs some work, but I'm sure Cal will come up with it. Well, we don't know how much longer Shane Bohannon's going to be sitting out, which means Stephen Van Treese and Mango Mathiang have to step up.
Well, what I tell Mango is, Mango, look, you are better than Gorgie as a freshman. Gorgie wasn't as good as you as a freshman, except we're replacing Gorgie as a junior. So I said, you've got to come more, and we're really trying to speed up his and rush his progress and give him a lot, overload him a little bit right now because he's got to get ready for that first game. And so we're overloading him with fundamentals, and he's responding very well.
I'm reminded, Mango Mathiang reminds me so much of watching the development of Gorgie Zhang and Montrezl Harrell, where he does things every now and then that you're like, wow, man, this kid's going to be really good when he figures it out. And he is starting to figure it out. He hit a little jumper the other day that was really sweet. If he can do even one of those a game, it just changes the ballgame.
We would love to do Red and Blue with you, just like we're doing here at Eastwood Stove and Outdoor Shop. Contact me at gupton@redandbluereview.net. I'll explain all the details about getting Red to Blue to work for you.